Hi, it's Cara from Careers here, and in today's session we're going to cover how to use the LinkedIn alumni function. So to get us started, we'll go to the search bar up here and type in the University of Wollongong. So as a student, I hope you're all following the University of Wollongong page, and from here I'd like us to go to the alumni button. Now, on this page, you can see we've got 82,000 active alumni on the LinkedIn platform. So people that you have something in common with because you've all studied at the University of Wollongong. Now, 82,000 people is way too many to search on. So what I like to do is actually narrow that down to a much more manageable number. And the different ways we can do that are down here. We can narrow it down by where people live, where they work, what they do, what they studied, what they're skilled at, and how you connected. Now, where I like to start is what they studied. So for today's example, I'm just going to type in civil engineering, but you can do this for any degree you do, even non-vocational degrees. So you can see from filtering it down to people who have studied civil engineering, I've gone from 82,000 alumni to under 2,000. So we're getting to a more manageable number. But I want to narrow that down further by people who live in Sydney. So I can just click on the Sydney button here, getting us down to just over 1,000. And that's a more manageable number to deal with. And from here, I can see where they work. So this can give me an idea about potential companies that I could work at with my civil engineering degree. So I can see from here, 46 alumni work at the University of Wollongong, 31 work at Roads and Maritime Services, 20 at Wollongong City Council, and so on and so forth, down to 8 people at Sydney Water. Now from here, I can look at that list and see if there's an organisation I'd be interested in. So for today's example, let's just look at Roads and Maritime Services. So we click there and we've now got the details of 31 alumni who work at Roads and Maritime Services. So you can see our first person is a project manager at RMS, a project engineer, project support engineer. So you can get an idea about the job titles that people with civil engineering degrees do at the Roads and Maritime Services. Now from here, I'm just going to click on the first person's profile and we can see here that he's a project manager and he works on large-scale infrastructure projects, and his current project is working on the Albion Park Rail Bypass. Now, if we want to find out a little bit more about Roads and Maritime Services, I can click on their logo here, and this takes me to their homepage where I can see their news feed to see what type of conversations they're having at the moment, the About section, and to have a look at their website. Their website for large companies will normally have a careers page, and then I can look if they've got any job opportunities. If it is an organisation that I am interested in working with, I would then want to follow that organisation so their information turns up in my news feed. From there, if they are an organisation I'm keen on, I then may want to connect with Matthew to find out more about the organisation. So I just do that by hitting the connect button here. Now, never send a blank connection. We always want to tailor and personalise our invite to show someone that we do have something in common with them and we're not a complete random from the internet, because we both have studied the same degree at University of Wollongong. So I'm just going to click here to add a note, and I've prepared something a little bit earlier, so I'll just copy and paste that in. So in regards to my tailored invite, I've said, "Hi Matthew, I'm currently studying civil engineering at UOW." So you're showing him that you've got something in common. "I would be interested in finding out more about working at RMS. Can you please share a little bit with me about your experience and if RMS have an internship program?" So not only do you have something in common, you're interested in the organisation he's working for. You can then send that invitation across to Matthew, and he can make a decision of whether he'd like to connect with you or not. You can then go back And you can repeat the same process, removing RMS and moving on to another organisation like Wollongong City Council. So going through that process, researching companies, the types of jobs that people do with your career to get an idea about potential companies and job titles that you might want to work in the future. Thank you. I hope you found today's session useful.